Hi, I'm Anushka, mum to my 1-year-old, and today we will be discussing this book, Time to Sleep by Denise Fleming. I am a huge fan of Denise Fleming because of the way that she does her beautiful illustrations, which is using a method of um, straining or pouring dyed cotton pulp into these shapes that she's created to create these beautiful handmade cotton paper images. Um, yeah, really cool way of doing her art. And in some of her books, she's used other materials as well. Like for example, she's put like oat kernels the in the cotton in the pulp to then create this texture of like the grains. Or she's used coffee grounds. Um, she's used like burlap sacks, for example. But for this particular book, Time to Sleep, I'm not sure whether she's done the different materials, but she's still done the colored cotton pulp through the hand cut stencils. So this book, Time to Sleep, is about all the animals getting ready to hibernate and go to sleep for winter. But it's still a really nice book to do as a bedtime book, I think. But also teaching your child about when it's winter, everyone is, hunkering down, getting ready to rest and hibernate, and store their energy, store their food. The animals that hibernate, over the winter before spring comes. So we have this brown bear here, and brown bear sniffed once, she sniffed twice. I smell winter in the air. And I like to say, winter is coming to my son, though he doesn't obviously understand my Game of Thrones references. It'd be worrying if he did. But then, it is time to crawl into my cave and sleep. But first, I must tell Snail. And as we go through the book, each animal is like, oh, I must get ready to store everything and hunker down for winter. But first, I must tell. And then it moves on to the next animal. So Brown Bear decides to tell, bear, sorry, decides to tell Snail. It's a black bear. And where we live, we're actually in bear country. So we have often had bears in our backyard at our front door. We live, 5 minutes away from a state park. So we get bears, tortoises, what else? Deer. We've had deer in our backyard. Snakes. Yeah, hares, lots of animals. So that's he knows bears. I think because we'll talk about the bears. We'll say the bears. We can't put the rubbish. I will put the rubbish out in the morning. Trash, as we say in America, the trash cans. I grew up in Australia where we say rubbish bins. Yeah, New Zealand and Australia, rubbish bins versus trash cans, because obviously with the bears will come if we put trash out the night before. And so Snail is slowly slithering away, and he says, Bear says, it's time to seal your shell and sleep. I actually had no idea that snails would seal their shell, so I learned a lot reading this book as well. But Snail says, you are right, Bear. This morning there was frost on the grass. It is time to sleep. And each animal is noticing things about the weather, like signs from the wind, from the rain, from the temperature, from things they've noticed to be like, these are our internal clock signs that winter is coming. It is time to sleep. But first they must tell, and Snail must tell Skunk. And so you can see also the perception of size through this. So this is from Snail's perspective. So we only see a small part of Bear's face because Bear is so much bigger than Snail. So in each page, she puts it from the context of the animal who's speaking, which I think is really cool to then, for a parent to put yourself in a child's perspective and be like, this is how I appear, how huge I appear to my small child. And I'm not sure whether the child is recognizing that yet, but maybe it's nice for them to see it from the small animal's perspective. Like, oh, this is how big the world is to us. Or, I don't know. It's just how I feel reading this book. And so then we have Skunk, who's scratching away, and Snail says, Skunk, winter is on your way. It's time for you to curl up in your den and sleep. And Skunk says, the leaves on the trees were yellow and red. All right, said Skunk, I will sleep, but first I must tell Turtle. So skunk is also noticing things, the leaves. The snail says there's frost on the ground. Bear sniffs in the air. Winter is here. Skunk is like, the leaves are yellow and red. And then turtle, off on a ramble, as you do, turtle. Don't know how fast that ramble would be. But turtle, skunk says it's time for you to dig down and sleep. And turtle says, you are right, the days have been growing shorter. And like, we're so used to, we look at a calendar and it's like, oh yeah, winter starts on, this month. September starts on, the first, spring starts on the 1st of September in Australia. So here in America would be, when would spring be? In February. Yes, February. Sorry, that took me a while to figure out. I moved to the US almost 2 years ago. Yeah, about a year and a half ago. But I feel like my brain is still thinking in Celsius, not Fahrenheit, and meters, not miles, and like the seasons are still the other way around for me. Yeah. Anyway, so we have woodchuck. I have never seen a woodchuck. I would love to see a woodchuck. Yeah, because there's that rhymes like, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? That's the only time I've ever used woodchuck in a sentence. I've never seen one. And I don't even know where this woodchuck is, but it has to burrow down, and woodchuck is up here. So he's up on the top of the hill. It kind of looks a bit like a wombat to me. A wombat is an Australian animal. Woodchuck says, my skin is so tight I could not eat another bite. He's really getting ready to sleep and hibernate, but first he must tell Ladybug. And so we go through the book. I won't go through every page, but each animal is telling another animal, get ready for winter. And then we get to the end where is it? Ladybug is like, Bear, wake up, the sky is full of geese honking goodbye, because the geese are migrating. Yeah, winter is on its way, Bear. And Bear's like, dude, I was sleeping. Bear opened one eye, then she opened the other eye. What, growled Bear? It is time to crawl into your cave and sleep, said Ladybug. Ladybug, grumbled Bear. I am in my cave. I was asleep. Dude. Oh dear, said Ladybug. I am so sorry, Bear. Please go back to sleep. So poor Bear was already hibernating. He told Snail, and then he was like, all right, I'm off. See you guys. I am going hibernating. And then Ladybug went and woke him up. And Bear rolled over, closed her eyes. Ladybug slipped under a log nearby. And off they go to sleep for the winter until spring. And so all the animals like, good night, Bug, said Bear. Good night, Bear, said Ladybug. Good night, Woodchuck. Good night, Turtle. Good night, Skunk. Good night, Snail. Good night, everyone. See you in the spring. It's quite a long book to do as like a bedtime story, but it's still really fun. And my son really likes all the illustrations with the stars and all the animals burrowing down, hunkering down. As we go through the book, we'll say, oh look, the leaves are red and yellow, and we'll look up and we're like, oh, Bear, he sniffed the air. And we'll go, and he can't quite sniff yet, like he doesn't really get that, but he knows how to wink. And so when he winks, he goes, which is very cute. So I hope you enjoyed this book, Time to Sleep, about the bears and all the animals hunkering down, hibernating, getting ready for spring, sleeping over the winter. Let me know how you like it and how your child likes it, and if you have any other ideas on some good bedtime books. Thank you.